Yo, what's up, guys? Happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Happy Friday. We made it through the week. We stacked 4 times so far, and today we will stack again. We will stack again. Are you too late to start investing in Bitcoin, to start saving in Bitcoin today? Are you too late? We're going to answer that question here on the show today. So get comfy and let's talk about that. Okay. Let me adjust the camera here a little bit. Satwise Jenks in the house. What up? Round of applause from the live studio audience for Satwise Jenks. Yeah. Trying to complete the week with another stack. It's been going good. Alrighty. Let's kick things off with the first segment of the day, of course. Here we go. The Bitcoin strength. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $103,796.70. You can buy 963 Satoshis for a single dollar. What the heck is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin. Just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents, a Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. So if you can accumulate those Satoshis, you'll eventually get to a Bitcoin. Okay? Why do I explain that every single episode? Because I want you to understand that it doesn't matter that you don't have $103,000 lying around. You don't need $103,000 to get started with Bitcoin. You can start buying it in fractions. Okay? Today, let's say you're walking down the street minding your own business. You look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day that penny can buy you. Let's refresh this. 9 Satoshis. 9 Satoshis for a penny. 963 Satoshis for a dollar. You're definitely not too late. Definitely not too late. All right? Let's get back here to this main page here. Yeah, so it's tough. It's tough to get started, right? You see people that have been in Bitcoin for a long time, and you're like, damn, I'll never get to on Bitcoin. I'll never get to whatever. But the thing to remember here is, even though you might feel like you're late to Bitcoin, like you're not. Like the percentage of the world that actually understands Bitcoin, that actually has committed to saving in Bitcoin, it's not that many people, right? It's not that many people. Okay. So as that, but now that you're kind of like coming to the point where you're considering it, right? Then you'll be ahead of the game. You're still ahead of the game. Even now, if I were to start today from zero, I would still be fine, right? Because as long as you hold your Bitcoin for at least 4 years, 1 cycle, maybe 2 cycles, 8 years, it'll be performing better than most of your investments. Pretty sure it will, right? That's what it's been doing so far historically. It's pretty crazy, right? So don't get discouraged from starting today. You are not too late to start investing in Bitcoin. I don't know if I call it investing. I call it just saving. Saving in Bitcoin, taking the value of your hard-earned work and putting it into a different system that is not inflationary and won't steal the value of your savings via inflation, right? Pretty straightforward. So here on the show, we track each year individually exactly for this reason. Because if you're new to the show and you're trying to figure out, like, well, am I too late or whatever, and you see that we've been stacking since 2023 and we're at like 0.3 Bitcoin, you might think to yourself, oh my God, these guys are like, I'm never going to catch up, or I have no hope of stacking hard enough, right? But if we reset the counter every year, you get to see what it takes every year. And yeah, like at the beginning of 2024 and the beginning of this year, 2025, we were down. In 2024, we were down as much as like 20%, I think, right? For like the first 2 or 3 months. And we even did the 100 days of saving in Bitcoin challenge, and we were down like hard on that one too. But now we're good. Same thing with the beginning of 2025. All of our purchases were I think we went as far down as like minus 12% in unrealized losses. But it worked out because we just kind of kept buying, and we upped the DCA amount on days when the Bitcoin was cheap, and we just basically got more sats per dollar, and that helped us get back to in the green sooner. As soon as Bitcoin started to come up, it was like, yeah. And well, I'll show you during the stack recap. But yeah, so yes, to answer the question that we started this video with, are you too late to invest in Bitcoin? No, you're not too late to invest in Bitcoin. You're not too late to start saving in Bitcoin. All right, let's jump into why we stack. Now that you know you're not too late to start saving in Bitcoin, why should you? Why should we save in Bitcoin? Super simple. I made a whole TikTok about this on my TikTok account. I'm trying to grow the channel, guys. Slow and steady. We save in Bitcoin to keep it super simple. I'm just gonna do my regular elevator pitch of why we save in Bitcoin. We save in Bitcoin because saving in Bitcoin is like traveling back in time and giving yourself a perpetually increasing retroactive raise for the hours you've already worked for as long as you hold a Bitcoin that represents those hours. That's it. Super simple, right? In order to understand why you should save in Bitcoin, you have to become a little bit educated on how the money works, right? How government issued money, how fiat money works, and how it's used to debase your savings and keep you poor. And when they do that, you have to work harder and harder to maintain your current lifestyle, and you'll never be done. You'll never beat that money printer. So you'll always continue to print and print and print. As long as you're able to save, you'll never be too late to save in Bitcoin. There you go. That's it. Satwise Jenks knows what's up. But yeah, it's totally worth the time, totally worth the commitment to learning about it. And yeah, it can get a little bit confusing with like storage and like where do you buy it and what's self-custody mean, what's a hot wallet, what's a cold wallet. All that stuff will come as you need it, you know? Like just stay away from altcoins, stay away from NFTs, ETFs, wizards, runes. Anyway, try to do Bitcoin only and take custody of that Bitcoin. And if any of these things I'm saying are sound confusing, jump in the chat and leave a comment. I'll help explain whatever you're confused on. And if you're watching the replay, leave a comment and I will come back the following day and answer your question in the following episode of the show. If it's not something I can respond in with just text. Okay? All right. That is why we stack. Super simple. Keep it real. Real simple. Oh, sorry about that. All right. I feel like a little bit out of energy because I went to jiu-jitsu today in the morning and got beat up in a good way, in a bettering myself way. But yeah, I just felt it, the heaviness of you know, when you work out really hard and you think you feel good and then you start doing something and you feel that. Anyway, let's keep the show rolling. I was thinking we could do the stack recap next. So let's do that. I'm trying to think of what we have going on for Fridays, right? Something fun. Here we go. Stack Recap, because we don't only talk about stacking Bitcoin here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern. We actually do it. And we're tracking each year individually. So if you're new to Bitcoin and trying to figure out if you're too late, you're not too late. Start stacking. Choose your frequency, choose your amount, and just do it. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody about it. You don't have to tell anybody about it. Just commit to doing something. Just commit to not having zero Bitcoin. Yeah. Do $1 a day, $5 a day, $20 a day, whatever you feel comfortable with, right? Only keep as much fiat, only keep as many dollars as you feel comfortable with getting debased on. All right. In 2025, so far we've saved $3,540 into Bitcoin and accumulated 3.9 million Satoshis. Woo, a million Satoshis, baby. And yeah, today, at the price of Bitcoin, you'd have to pay an additional 14% to buy the same amount of Bitcoin that we bought earlier this year. You have to pay $4,050 for that same amount of Bitcoin. So this shows you in real time that it takes more of today's dollars to buy the same amount of Bitcoin. So that tells you that the purchasing power of the dollar is going down, right? Okay. If you, excuse me, if you click over to the 2024 stack, same thing. We've been stacking since 2023, but we started tracking 2024 individually in case somebody new to stacking got here and said, all right, what if I started stacking in 2024 with the show? And here's the results. We started stacking again January 1st, 2024. We saved $7,345.47 of my own money. And that got us 0.1224 Bitcoin, about 12.2 million Satoshis. Those Satoshis today are worth $12,700. Another way to look at that is if I were to go and try to buy the same amount of Bitcoin today with today's weaker money, it would cost me 72% more, right? Because the dollar is losing purchasing power. Okay. Then we look at the full stack for 2020. No, well, that's, where'd it go? That's not it. There it is. We look at the full stack for since May 22nd, 2023, Pizza Day. We're coming up on our 2-year anniversary. Next week on Thursday, we'll do something to celebrate. We have, what is it? We started with, the whole show for the whole show, we've invested $14,000. Got about 0.26 Bitcoin. And that Bitcoin, the value of that Bitcoin since we got it has gone up about on average 94%. So again, it's real easy. All we did was buy the Bitcoin. We took custody of the Bitcoin and just hold on to it, right? And naturally, by the way the system works, the way Bitcoin works, and the way inflation works, your savings in Bitcoin expand your purchasing power, and with more purchasing power comes more freedom, because you can buy and take care of more things with less physical effort on your side, right? If you take your hard-earned pay that took you a certain amount of hours to earn, and that pay increases in purchasing power to where now you don't have to commit as many physical hours of labor because your Bitcoin has expanded in purchasing power. Basically, you're earning time. You're buying your time back. You're buying your time so you can do whatever the heck you want and not have to worry about having a job or working or whatever. Just do whatever your passion is at that point, right? That's a pretty cool idea. All right. So there it is. That is a full stack. Since today, the price of Bitcoin is at $103,000, and we've only and our average buy price for 2025 is $92,000. Then we're going to only buy about $20 worth of Bitcoin today on the Stack Bitcoin show. So now that we know how much Bitcoin we're going to buy, there's only one thing left to do. It's time to stack some Bitcoin. Should get my phone out. I'm ready to stack. All right. Today on a Friday, on a happy Friday, bringing up the Strike app here on my phone. Boom. Hit the buy button. I punch in $20. There it is. You hit next. Get to the confirmation page. Cut the music. Drum roll, please. And there we go. We're buying $20 worth of Bitcoin on the Stack Bitcoin show. Beep, bop, boop, bop, beep, bop. And just like that, we stacked an additional, what is that? There it is. 19,081 Satoshis have been added to the stack. So let's put that in the spreadsheet, guys. My jaw feels weird. I had like pressure on my chin today, and my jaw feels weird. 5/16/25. More than halfway through May already. Crazy times. The price of Bitcoin we deserve today is $103,820.55 Bitcoin. About $20 worth. And the yield is 0.0001981 Bitcoin. 19,081 Satoshis added to the stack. I'm going to take this data for the other sheet. Scroll down here. Scroll down. Oh, I'm not even showing you on the screen. Scroll down here to the proof of stack. Through the proof of stack spreadsheet. There it is. Bam. Bam. Slow and steady. We still keep building. And with that new purchase, our final total for the week is 0.36536794. More than halfway to flipping that 100th place. Make that 6 and turn that 6 into a 7. And we keep on stacking. Slow and steady. Yeah, my jaw's jacked up. Definitely my jaw feels jacked up. All right. That is the main course. That's the main course of the show. Let's talk about something else. What's going on? I don't see anybody in here. I don't know what's happening with this channel, guys. This channel is dead. Dead. Are we dead? Is this channel dead? Anybody out there listening to me? Can anybody hear me? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hang out here for like another 10-15 minutes and just kind of see what happens. I don't know if the notifications aren't going out or people just don't give a crap anymore. Either case, we're still going to be here stacking Bitcoin. So maybe people could just get busy. Or maybe now it's a good time to consider doing a different time slot too. All right. I was on an episode with Pleb Underground, and Phil asked what books I recommend, and he mentioned 21. I forget what it was. There it is, like 21 something. Let me get it, because I was like, that sounds familiar, and like at the time when he said it, I didn't remember I had already read it. So I just want to show it to you guys. Give me a second. There it is, 21 lessons. So I did have it. What I've learned from falling down the rabbit hole by Gigi. 21 lessons. It's an easy read. It's an easy read. But like when so I didn't remember that I had already read it. But that's a good Bitcoin book. It's a good Bitcoin book. All right, next order of business. Hanging out on a Friday. Just gonna do random stuff. Let's look at some. See if we can find some Bitcoin memes. Bitcoin memes. Oh yeah, I guess we got some good ones coming. All right, let's look at some memes. let's do some reactions to some memes. Okay, here we go. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. All right, this is I'm looking at these memes on Blue Sky, and this is an account called Bitcoin Breakdown. Shout out to Bitcoin Breakdown on Blue Sky. Let's look through some memes and have a little fun here. I'm gonna change the track too. More chill mode. Let's go. All right, let's look at some Bitcoin memes. Here we go. That one's cool. Bitcoin plebs running down the track on a horse like a knight. It's pretty sick. Oh, nice. Okay, next one. What does it say? Nowadays, people know the price of everything and the value of nothing. Oscar Wilde. Okay, that's pretty good quote. That's a pretty good quote. Okay, I'm down with that. That's nice. We'll give it a like. We'll give that one a like too. Let's see. Ooh. There you go. When someone asks you why you have an old car, a cracked phone, and $12 in your bank account while having a job, and the answer is you wouldn't get it. That's pretty good. I like that one. All right, today's top stories. Okay, scammer's trying to get my seed. Let's see what it is. That's kind of dumb. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. This has to do with the op return debacle. People fighting over op return, and we're just over here stacking, still continuing to stack. I like it. That's a good one. What even is that number? 3.9 trillion? Billion? That's million. Yeah, 3.9 trillion women, 21 million Bitcoin. You can get a girlfriend later. Dang. That's a good one. Right, go to the next track. That's pretty good. Let's go to the next one. The face she makes when she's pouring coffee in her cup, but she's pouring Bitcoin into her wallet. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's keep it going. Growth is not always visible. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. I see that. This is like when you're building your stack, and it keeps going sideways. And or like going sideways like it did for us while we were doing double stacks during the show. And once the price started to come back up, we had all these satoshis as a foundation, and we were able to get back to positive pretty quickly. I like that. Give that a like. Bitcoin will fix my finances? Asks Neo. And Morpheus says, no, Neo. It will fix your perspective. Yeah, that's true. I'm down with that. Down with that. Uh-oh. When you mentioned Bitcoin on your first... Uh-oh. Too little Bitcoin is bad for your eyes. Can you read this, guys? Can you read this? Too little Bitcoin is bad for your eyes. That's funny. Okay, this is one we saw yesterday. All right. We're caught up. We're caught up on the memes, guys. We're caught up on the memes. All right, boys. That's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show. Let's put the music on and finish up this episode. Here we go. Sheesh. It's tough. It's tough out here. Living the life. Stacking every day. Slow and steady. On our way to 1 Bitcoin. It's a lonely road some days. Right? But it's worth the travel. It's worth it. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show. I'll see you guys on Monday for another episode of the Stack Bitcoin Show. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later, guys.